Hi, I'm Rachel Leah. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Arketa. Quick background on me is I'm born and raised from Boston, Massachusetts. And growing up, I played a bunch of sports in high school. Unfortunately, I was not the star athlete and I ended up tearing both my ACLs. So I tore the right one year, the left one the other year. And when I graduated high school and came out to sunny California for college, I had a knee that was essentially locked, couldn't bend or straighten it. And so out here in the sunny mecca of health and wellness, I started trying everything under the sun to fix my knees. You name it, acupuncture, cupping, myofascial release. I was there. And someone eventually pointed me to yoga. And they were like, you're trying all this stuff under the sun. Why don't you take a yoga class? So I called my mom and dad with the $1 billion idea that yoga cures all things. And they laughed and they said, go to the UCLA gym, which is where I went to undergrad at the time. And I ended up finding out that I could do work trade at the local yoga studio in my college town. And I ended up pretty much living at the studio, doing homework behind the desk, taking once, twice, 3 times a day, just becoming so obsessed with the community and the instructors that inspired me that I ended up doing all of my teacher training. So I've done my 200-hour RYT. I'm group fitness certified. And that really just kickstarted and jump-started my absolute love of boutique fitness and going to studios and just connecting with the people there. I taught at a few different studios. I taught at the big box studio. I also taught at the local mom and pop studio. So I've kind of seen all sides of the coin. And the first thing is no one realizes how hard teaching is. So you have the sequencing, you have the programming, you have the playlisting behind the desk. You have all of these hours that you spend behind the scenes, and then you have the actual experience. And nobody realizes how emotionally draining that experience is. You essentially, for an hour, are giving your heart and soul to a community and hoping that they absorb it. And usually they do. And that's what makes us so fulfilled as instructors. And then you have the post-class experience. And there's just something so incredible about giving to a community and being a part of a community. And as my time as an instructor, it kind of blew my mind that there's so many business challenges that create friction to my ability to succeed, both as an instructor and as someone that was working behind the desk very, very closely with the studio owners. And so during my time, especially at the mom and pop owned studio, I'm a very, very curious person, and I ask a lot of questions. I'd ask why. Why are we putting so much hard work into this thing and seeing no fruition? Why does our computer keep crashing? Why do we have to call someone to fix things? And because I was just so curious behind the desk, I learned a lot about the operations of running a studio. And I think that that's what really inspired me to start Arketa. Mission being is we put so much hard work behind what we do and cultivating these wildly incredible experiences. Why are we still stuck 20 years behind in some of our practices? And a lot of that is being that we're just so busy. A lot of that is that we want to focus on what we do best. But my time behind the desk, the countless hours, both teaching and working at a studio and seeing both how we change people's lives and what we do for this industry completely inspired the type of community that we're building at Arketa as we think about building that future of fitness and wellness with our business owners. Well, I like to say this magical thing happened called the pandemic, and we can't forget about it. Of course, running a business is hard. I definitely saw that as an instructor and working behind the desk. I think the more and more I get to know and work with entrepreneurs, the more I relate to them. I'm also starting my own business myself. So I'm for the first time experiencing all of these things as a business owner. I think it's very hard unless you're in the seat of someone running their own business to realize how difficult it is, especially as an SMB, meaning a small to medium-sized business where you're responsible for so much. So inherently, the business is challenging. COVID accelerated a lot of those challenges. As we all know, COVID hit, so many gyms and studios shut down, like 50% of them almost. And I like to say that the entire industry was on a chessboard. That chessboard was entirely flip-flopped inside of its head. And so as business owners, we started to think, oh my God, what should we do? How do we recreate experiences in parks? How do we recreate experiences in our living rooms? How do we recreate experiences while our kids are crying in the background because they're now at school while we're trying to teach? And so I think one of the biggest challenges recently has been the world shifted upside down and people still want to move. But now, because the world has changed, they're moving in different ways. And that can be very, very challenging for a lot of businesses that have been used to cultivating an experience inside of a studio, because you're now forced to get cameras, you're forced to get microphones, you're forced to think outside the box in your marketing practices as the world goes digital. With that challenge, I see that as the biggest opportunity for the future of fitness and wellness. I always say after any storm comes a beautiful rainbow. There is so much wide open space because we were so forced to get creative, think outside of the box, try different intro offers, do different things. And I see the biggest opportunity for the future of fitness and wellness businesses of all shapes and sizes is, how do you grow beyond your core product? How do you grow beyond classes? The hybrid world is 100% here to stay. Think about how education has shifted. Think about how working from home has shifted. Think about how fitness and wellness has shifted. And how do you cultivate an experience that is so beautiful in person, because we crave community. But some people, when they're sick, when they're traveling, they're looking for something a little digital. Maybe they're looking for something asynchronous. And so I think the biggest opportunity for the future of fitness and wellness is thinking about new revenue streams, testing new things, trying new things as everyone is getting back to their new normal. And then the second biggest opportunity I see in this space is the opportunity for personalization. And this is crossing all trends and boundaries right now. Think e-commerce. Personalization is becoming key. Personalization in this industry is where people are going to win. And it's always one, right? It's everything from telling someone to straighten up their spine, relax their shoulders down their back, engage their core, to giving out a name shout out, to tracking people that are maybe pre and postnatal and giving them a modification. I think the biggest opportunities for a lot of our businesses in these next few years is going to be, how personal can we get? Because at the end of the day, when I told my story about me as an instructor and as a student, the reason we go is for the workout. The reason we stay is for the community. And community is really created when things are personalized. And we think a lot about that at Arketa, especially in the software itself, is how do you create an experience where everybody feels special? And I think that's where we win long-term as businesses. So we see a lot of studios facing these challenges that have been precipitated by the pandemic. The first thing I say is take a deep breath. You're not alone. We truly hear all of the time, I feel like I'm the only one in this. Nobody is talking about this. This whole world has been flipped upside down. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed. I had to cut staff. Things are changing. And so really what I recommend is, what do you tell your students when they've had a stressful day? 1, breathe. 2, it's okay to not have all the answers. And then 3, starting to shift your perspective and adjusting to the way that you used to do things to a new normal. And so that means looking at all of your systems, seeing what is working and what's not, reevaluating what your customers want. They want different things. And so what I really recommend businesses to do actually is learn from one another, get to know one another, see what's working and what isn't. Because things are changing so rapidly, the best way to prepare yourself for this new normal is to learn and grow. And then that's all we can do. All we can do is do our best. And so something that we do at Arketa to really help our businesses with that is making connections. Someone says, hey, I need a camera. Why are you going to spend hours looking for a new camera when you could shoot me a text or an email and I can introduce you to 10 people? I think that's something that's so incredible about BFS, is that ability to truly network and learn from one another will make businesses most successful. In addition, what I see be best practices adopted by new normal studios is integrating video. I know that we love in person. I know we love connecting with our customers. Video is here to stay. People watch it all the time. They're on Instagram, they're on Reels, they're on TikTok. That doesn't necessarily mean building out an entire video library from scratch. That can be a lot of work. You may not have the money or resources, but that could be anything from giving a phone tour of your studio to doing an Ask Me Anything with instructors, to building out a 200-hour teacher training that now uses video so that if people can't make it, they can do it online. Our most successful businesses at Arketa are asking a lot of questions, and they're also thinking about how do they expand their business beyond in person to really increase their revenue. One of the things that I'm seeing incredible studios doing a great job at is taking the content that they've built during the pandemic, one, spinning up an on-demand content library, like a Netflix style library, and using that pre and post class. So that's everything from, hey, after class, go use this as a stretch. Before you come, check out a breath work. And then they're reusing that content. So the best studios are actually taking that content that they've recorded or that they have and using it for multiple use cases. So that could be for, again, an on-demand content library. It could also be for a 200-hour teacher training and putting some of those classes inside of there. The second thing that I'm seeing a lot of studios do that's very cool and successful is actually mixing physical products with digital product. And so what that means is selling something behind the desk at a studio and a membership in combination together. The physical product is what might get them to stick. So if you're a boxing studio, that might be some gloves. If it's a Pilates studio, it's some toe socks. And we're seeing those bundles of both, again, the physical product and digital. So maybe the toe socks come with an on-demand subscription or a 3-class pack, et cetera. Those are two really common ways I'm seeing studios really think through monetization. And then I'm also seeing them think about offering classes in different locations. And there's a phrase actually about this called the third location. And this doesn't mean, hey, go find a different brick and mortar and make this your new home studio. What this means is instead of spending money on Facebook and Google ads and other ad acquisition channels, what if you literally plopped yourself inside of either a hotel, a park, you actually partnered with another studio, a church, or another affiliate program where you could essentially run in-person classes in a third location so that you could drive more traffic back to the home business. So those are three of the ways I'm seeing studios monetize beyond just their in-studio classes. As we know, personalization is key. The first thing that I'm seeing studio owners do is get really, really specific on what are the types of things that make their studio win and what do they want to focus on in personalization. So that could be anything from, if you're a mama-based studio, we have a mama-based studio, something that they ask someone is every student, where they might be in their pregnancy, pre and postnatal, and some things about their kids. When they understand that those are the two things that make them most successful in their community, they actually build verbiage around it. And so what they actually started to do is build tags on every single customer in the business so that they can personalize it. So behind the desk, they have little notes on every single customer where they're personalizing pre and postnatal. They're tracking who their kids are, what their kids' names are, maybe any injuries. So that way, every single person behind the desk knows what are the things that they're tracking. And then anyone that comes in gets that same personalized feeling and touch that's customized across the whole business. So I'm seeing tagging be really important. And then the second thing is spending time before and after class. People are still in such a rush, especially with digital, to come in and after. The best businesses are encouraging their staff to come a little bit early and to stay a little bit late and having them be a part of the sales process. And the way that we're seeing this is incentivizing staff members if they have a team. If you don't have a team, that's self-incentivizing yourself to personalize the sales process and be a part of that. And that's really where we see studios stand out. Again, people come for community. People come when they feel special. And if you don't know anything about a person, they don't feel special. And then the last thing that we see really awesome studios do is they try to remember 3 things about every single student. And this is really good in life, right? If you meet someone, you want to get their name right, but you want to find 3 other things about that person that make them unique. That's a really great way to collect data. And then again, in your CRM software, you can actually store those 3 things so that you never need to ask it again, because of course we're always busy and we forget. So storing that personalization in a CRM is also going to be really, really key to building long-term relationships. Nobody has perfect memory. No one expects you to have perfect memory. So always feel free to write it down. We see studio owners make lots of mistakes consistently. The first thing I'll say is don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail. We fail all of the time. And the best thing you can do is fail, right? It means that you've tried something and you've launched. The biggest mistake actually that we see, which is kind of counterintuitive, is that they don't do anything. They don't launch. So they say like, oh my God, I want to do this holiday sale. I'm thinking about this holiday sale, and they don't get it live. So it's like you can't even fail because you haven't launched. So like the biggest truly mistake we see is the fear of failure, and that holds you back from launching a branded mobile app, that holds you back from launching new commerce inside of your brick and mortar. The best way to do that is get an accountability partner, get a friend, get a network, but don't be afraid to fail and make mistakes. And then the second mistake we make, other than not even doing it to make the mistake, is switching things so often when they don't work. Because we're small businesses, we're not like Facebook where we have hundreds of thousands of data and information to figure out how things are doing very quickly to adjust. We have smaller pieces of data. And so oftentimes we'll see businesses either launch something or try something, and it doesn't work initially. And so then they quickly pivot, and then they quickly change. And then something doesn't work, so they change again. And so what I really encourage you to do is when you make your decisions, be patient. All results take time. Launch something, and if it's not working right away, let it sit. This could be really common with intro offers. We see people create new intro offers and pricing options every single day, every single week. And how can you see how something is performing if you don't have enough data to analyze it? So my recommendation is being really thoughtful in your intro offers or in any promotions, and really giving them a valiant effort so you can see how they do after that performance. And data is going to be key around every mistake. A lot of times we get crowded in our own emotions. Like, I feel like this didn't work. I feel like I didn't make enough money. And having a software provider or a platform where you can truly just see how things work and make it a little black and white will really help you push forward. But again, we all make mistakes. I make them every day. And the best businesses are making them all of the time, because after 5 mistakes, you're going to have something that does really, really well. So as I mentioned, as I was teaching and working behind the desk, it is a lot of work. You spend so much time trying to do things, everything from getting new customers, keeping customers, charging customers, messaging and communicating. We spend so much time, and there's not a lot of us. So as small business owners, anything and everything we can do to make our lives more efficient is more important than ever. And there are a few different ways people make their lives more efficient, right? Like if you have children, you might get a caretaker to help you take on some of the onus of driving. Some people hire VAs to do certain tasks for them. The beautiful thing about technology is that hopefully it saves you a lot of time. And in saving you a lot of more time, that saves you money. That makes you money. And so I think why is technology so important is we don't have a lot of time to spend. Right? We're busy. We have a lot of things to do. We might be 1 or 2 people's shows. And so really technology should be solving a problem. And the idea is if technology is solving you a problem, either it's making you more money, it's saving you more time, it's making life less stressful, then anyone and everyone should be doing it and like screaming from the rooftops. Again, it's like when you have a big problem and you find, I'm paralleling this to like a nanny, and you're like, oh my God, I can finally sleep. I can finally cook. I can finally go for a run. That's hopefully what technology should be doing. The second thing that makes it so important is for tracking and data purposes. And so again, oftentimes as solo business owners or only working in small groups, we have a lot of feelings about our business. Of course, we're also in an emotional industry where we're like, I feel like things aren't going well. I feel like money's not there. I feel like someone may have canceled, but I don't remember. And so instead of having to base business decisions off of feelings, it's really, really good to have that knowledge. That knowledge is power, and that knowledge is power to make incredible decisions. And so the power of technology to be able to store that data and aggregate that data for you. So again, you're saving time in decision making, you're making more money. Knowledge is just king, and normally technology is hopefully able to do that. The biggest misconception that I see a lot of studios having about technology to master their ops is that they need a lot of it and they get shiny key syndrome. And so what does that mean is they see a technology, that technology looks so cool because it's like this AI thing and like someone's going to do this other thing and like some automated subbing thing and like something that like seems really cool. But at the end of the day, technology needs to be solving a problem. And so when you think about what do you need in your tech stack, and that could be anything from marketing to ops to payroll to HR software, any sort of software, I would think back as to where am I spending too much of my time and where do I think money is being missed? And then when you are looking for a software provider to solve that, they should be solving that core pain point, not selling you something on something fancy that you don't need. And so we truly see it. We see it all the time. People come to Arketa and they're like, I have 20 million different tools and I'm paying all this money. And I'm like, great. What are you using it for? And they're like, I don't even know how to use it. And I'm like, great. Do you need it? And they're like, no. And we're like, great. We just saved you $500. Like, go buy yourself something nice. And so, yeah, I really encourage everyone to like take a step back. Don't go buy technology and then figure out how to use it because someone told you it's going to work. Figure out what is my business need at this moment and then use technology to solve that. So I would start thinking about what are your goals in the next 6 to 12 months? Where do you want to be? And that is either growing your business, scaling your business. Maybe it's not. Maybe you don't need technology. Like not everybody needs technology. Like if you're a yoga instructor that does 2 privates a week, your 2 customers like paying you by check, you see them at the same date and time, and you've been doing it for 10 years, and your goal is to keep as is, you don't need tech. Sounds like life is going as is. Again, what are the problems that you're trying to solve? So many problems we see with yoga instructors trying to solve problems is, hey, I'm trying to scale and grow my business. And I have too many students that cancel on me for privates. And because my students are canceling all of these privates, I actually could be filling those spots with other people. I can't even charge those students for canceling late on me, which is so mean and rude. And I wish they'd tell me earlier. And so I have no written contract between me and the students to be able to monetize that time. So now I'm stuck with all these students canceling. Okay, that sounds like a great problem that technology could solve, right? You could send reminders to those students. You could have a late cancel no-show fee. That would be a really good example of a problem. I'm teaching group fitness classes and I don't know what anybody's name is before they show up. It's really awkward. I don't know what injuries people have. And so I might be teaching pre and postnatal and I need to know to give modifications. Those are all examples of thinking in your day-to-day. What are problems that you're experiencing either with you or your customers that you're trying to solve? But the answer may not always be technology. Arketa is an all-in-one business management platform for fitness and wellness businesses that helps business owners grow their in-person classes and beyond. And so why did I start Arketa is I was a fitness and yoga instructor based out of Los Angeles, California, teaching nights and weekends and working in technology. And as I spent numerous hours behind the desk, sitting hand in hand with the studio owners doing things, I was like, why is this so hard? Why is this so painful? Why am I sitting on an hour call to get someone that doesn't know my name, that doesn't care about me? Why does it take 10 clicks to book someone into a class? Like it should be easier. And when I kept asking more and more and more questions, I came with the resounding answer, this is what the industry has. And it blows my mind that other industries are innovating at the speed of light. You see restaurant technology booming. You see actually car repair management shop restaurant booming. FinTech, it's crazy. E-commerce, I swear I look at a product and I've now bought that product. And it blew my mind that the simplest things, the basic things that you need to run a studio and a business were not there. And so the idea is what if it didn't have to be hard? What if it didn't have to be 20 years behind and outdated? And so really, we started Arketa mission being, we now live in a hybrid world. That hybrid world is here to stay. In this new world we're in, how do we make your life easier? How do we make you more money? So that was really how it started. I'm absolutely and personally obsessed with this space. I take every single class under the sun, unless I can't afford it, because some devices are very expensive and you have to ship them to you. And I'm also obsessed with technology and technology outside of the wellness space. And how can we bring the best learnings and practices from what other industries are doing into wellness, which hasn't been done for a very, very long time. What void in the marketplace is this filling? I mean, wow, fitness and wellness tech, like I said, it is like 20 years behind. And so all of the pain points that we're experiencing as an industry, the frustrations, the fear of tech, like I feel you, like I see that tech. It is brutal. There's no band-aiding it. And the answer of like, oh, I'm just going to use this because this is what we get, like is not a good enough answer. And so I think where Arketa really fills the void is, one, it just works. Like the stuff, it plain out works. Like you need to check someone into class and charge them. Like we got you on the basics. Now let's talk about uptime. We got you on the basics. Customer support and service, you can call someone, you can live chat someone, you can hop on a phone. Where I think the software really catapults leaps and bounds is not only do we do in-person classes, we help you grow beyond classes. And that's everything from supporting teacher trainings and retreats, which is a huge revenue stream, to supporting 30-day challenges and appointments and one-on-ones, to supporting video in the hybrid world, e-commerce and beyond. And so biggest differentiator with Arketa is not only is it super easy to use and does all the basics, we're constantly thinking about more ways to save you time and make you more money. And we have a team that cares. Everyone on our team has their why. That's everything from working years behind the desk to being a fitness instructor to my story or a similar story. And so when you hop on with an Arketa team member, we're not someone that is just doing this to do this. We're absolutely obsessed with your business, and we want your business to win as if it's our own. And finding a software provider that has a heart that cares, again, the tech doesn't work unless you know how to use it and unless you know how to execute properly. And we'll go above and beyond on that. And we have a network if we don't know all the answers. Nobody knows all the answers. And so where Arketa wins is making this community where if we don't know the answer, we'll connect you to someone. You need a wholesaler because you're selling retail for the first time. I got your guy. You're setting up a camera. You're doing an email marketing campaign. Again, we're here to be that best friend and partner in crime. But above and beyond, it really is about the technology just plain out working. So Arketa supports 30-day challenges, programs, resets, nutrition programs, any sort of time box challenge that creates community within your business. And how we do this is we have a software feature that supports just that, where you can upload classes, videos, PDFs, have a forum that takes your community through a specific time frame period. What that really supports is retention. So one, keeping your members engaged, and then two, having new members join. And as we think about personalization and adding new features to the business, where challenges in programming is incredible is you can actually introduce either a new modality or a new offering and use it as a test. And so our 30-day challenge product and programming is absolutely incredible. And most of our businesses are already using it for something. The second thing that we offer is courses and programs. And so what that can be used for is for teacher trainings. So if you're a yoga studio, think about your 300-hour, your 500-hour yin training. If you're a Pilates studio, your Pilates teacher training. And so what we allow businesses to do is create modular videos, PDFs, classes that are either online or in person so that you can successfully run students end to end through a program. We have payment plans inside of there, so you can charge people. And what's amazing about this is it integrates with the rest of your CRM. So if someone needs to be on a membership while we're in the program, we do that. If they get an automated discount if they're in the program. And so having everything that speaks to one another is really nice. And then the third feature that we offer is the ability to host retreats. And so what that means is if you're thinking about taking your community somewhere fun and special, travel is now opening and booming, you can actually organize a trip in another place. So think you want to take everyone to Machu Picchu or to Costa Rica, or maybe even a local 3-day retreat. You can actually set up a multi-day experience using the software. It comes with a landing page so that you can drive ads, email campaigns, anything you need to it. It already speaks to your existing software, so you don't need to, again, integrate with another third-party tool. And then you can have that in-person experience, or you can do it digitally. So if you're doing an in-person retreat, you could still add some videos to get them really excited about the space, or a PDF on an ebook of something you'd like them to read before the retreat. And then you could actually open up a group chat so that everybody could talk before and after the retreat. And what's incredible about that is with all of these experiences, because they're integrated into your CRM, you can upsell and cross-sell them, which is absolutely magic. So what does that mean? Is that you can pair the retreat with a membership, or pair it with a 5-pack, or you can sell them before and after the retreat. So you'd be like, when the retreat's ending or the teacher training's ending, hey, if you buy a digital on-demand library right now, it's half off for the first year. Or we're giving everybody that does the retreat baked in 2 one-on-one personal training sessions so that you get the most out of the experience. So I love that about it. The last thing that I'm seeing our training course software be used for is internal training. So that could be up-leveling your instructors, continuing education credits, teaching people how to like clean equipment and properly take care of the equipment. There's a lot of internal video use cases that our studios are also leveraging, and it's nice to not have to pay for another provider for that. So our pricing model is pretty simple. We give you everything in one price. So it's a monthly subscription, which we also hope you use for your customers, because monthly subscriptions are easy to understand, easy to use. We have one price for the individual instructor, and then we have a price for teams and studios. As you move up to multi-location, teams, studios, gyms, etc., we have custom pricing for you as well. And then we leverage Stripe as our payment processor. Their rates are 2.9 and 30 cents. And they're just the best of the best in payments, and most other providers are now using them as well. Yeah, pretty simple pricing. The only add-on that we currently offer are branded mobile apps. So we have branded mobile apps available on both iOS and Android, and that's literally everything in the core product skinned to your own branded mobile app on the App Store that includes scheduling, video, programs, all in one place under your name, available for download again on any device. And then also ability to have Chromecast, AirPlay, and stream across any device as well. Onboarding is something that we do all day, every day. We can onboard a studio in under 30 minutes or less. I have seen it done. We have had studios that have been so frustrated with their current providers, they have canceled without figuring out a solution, came upon Arketa, and we have boarded them the same day. What is so incredible about our onboarding and migrations team is that we are all in-house. We are all based here in the States. A migration can happen any single evening of the week that you choose on that date and time. We help you through every single step of the way. And then we also migrate every single piece of information over for you that you would like. So that's everything from name, email, full credit card string. And we do not charge anything for onboarding and migration. That is something that any provider who really wants to set you up for success should really be working with you on. The one thing that we do separate from our typical onboarding is video migrations. So let's say you've built up a video platform on another party provider. We do also offer full video migrations, like you don't have to sit there and download and upload. And those are offered as well as a separate service. So again, onboarding is super, super easy. We've done it in 30 minutes or less, but we move at your pace. Most of our businesses like to take anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks, just so that they can really spend the time to get to know the software, have overlap with their previous provider, and make sure that they're fully set up for success on the training of it. Come hang out with us beyond the software. And I think that that's really going to elevate your experience. So even if it's not today, maybe it's tomorrow, maybe you're thinking about different things for your business beyond just the booking platform. We do have a very extensive network. We have owners and operators, and we're really just looking to meet and connect with other members of the community. And I think that that is why the business owners that do run their business on Arketa absolutely fall in love with it and share it with all of their friends. So please reach out anytime. We're always here to help. We obsess over this stuff. I think everything else kind of hits the nail on the head. I think there's time for a change. Like the change is now. And the change is that you have an opportunity to look at your business and make some incredible moves. And you have an incredible community of other owners, operators, and software providers like us that are here to help whenever, however we can. So check out the link below, and we've given out a little bit of a demo so you can get a little taste of the product. And then from there, feel free to book a time with me or anyone else on our team so that we can see how to make your lives easier. Always here to help, and we're super excited to get to meet you and get to know you better.
Hey everybody, Jessica LaChance here. Do you want more business education for your fitness studio or wellness business? Subscribe to our YouTube channel or our email newsletters, and we'll see you here soon.